welcome everyone. I am Barbara Tian with your ringleader here at Project Kin. Project Kin is a community of family historians and genealogists hooked on stories. And we've made a little home for ourselves here on the Substack platform because, frankly, it's free to us and it allows me to share writing and recordings, a wealth of materials here with everyone in our community at a minimal cost. And we are now supported with a few patrons that help us keep those operational costs off the table and provide all of these materials for you for free. We host this time a dozen events this month in June, but usually 8 to 10 events in a month, all of which focusing on ways to help you share your family stories with your family, your loved ones, in the ways that work best for you to get those stories told. Now, our special guest today is Randy Seaver. I'm thrilled to have you here, Randy. Randy was an early pioneer in online collaboration for genealogists since the days of digital bulletin boards. And he has been blogging here on the World Wide Web since the early days of Blogger back in 2006. And he has maintained that consistent blogging site at Blogger on, well, Blogger. And in fact, earlier this year celebrated his 19th birthday as his blogiversary. So today, Randy has brought his considerable talents to Substack, and now the growing genealogy and family history community here on Substack at Geneaholic. And you enter at Geneaholic, and you get your way to Randy Seaver and his own publications and continuing writing here, joining all of us in this growing community. So, as Project Kin, I am delighted to have you here as our speaker today. And I've asked you to share with us a little bit about a process you described in a blog post back in, I think it was April, the Ancestor BIOS, your ABC process. Now, what I love about that is, first of all, it fit right into what we talk about as project recipes, showing somebody else how to do exactly what you're doing. That's incredibly helpful in my view, and is really all about the ethos that we're building here in this Substack community with Project Kin. Again, my goal is to get everybody to get their family stories told in any way that works for them, public, private, shared, not shared, in a platform independent way. You've done that by looking at the problem you're trying to solve and go do that, and then see what else is possible and do that too. Things you didn't even know you could do, go get that done too. So with that, I'm going to get off the stage, losing my voice, and turn it over to you, Randy. Please take it over. Thank you and welcome.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see everybody. I've met some of you. I haven't met a lot of you. I read a lot of you on Substack also. This is going to be really three parts. One is I have just an introduction because half of you don't know me much. And so that'll take a little time. And then we'll go through what the process is for the ABC biographies. And then we'll do some AI building, and then we'll show you some of the results. So let me share my screen, and this is going to be boring, but it gets me almost out of the limelight. So this is my blog, GeneaMusings, and let me tell you something about me and the blog. So my background is in San Diego, born and raised here, went to school here, born in 1943. My father was born in Massachusetts and had a wonderful colonial ancestry and a nice English ancestry too, all from the British Isles, most migrating in the 1600s. My latest immigrant is 1855. My mother's ancestry is British to New England and then German to New York and New Jersey and Pennsylvania, with a little Dutch and French in New York. So that's the ancestry. My mom grew up in San Diego, as did her father. I'm a fourth generation San Diegan because my grandfather's parents came late in their life. I have two brothers. I'm the oldest. My dad died in 1983. My mother died in 2002. My mother was an only child, and her parents were both only children. So I received boxes of family history stuff from essentially four generations. Um, Papers, photos, artifacts, ephemera, uh, all great stuff. And I've shared a lot of that on my blog, the photos especially. Even my own report cards and school yearbooks. I come from a pack rat family and have carried on the tradition for a long time. I spent 40 years as an aircraft engineer working on commercial aircraft nacelles, the engine pods, the pods that go around engines, as an aerodynamicist. And so that's basically how air flows to make airplanes fly efficiently. I spent years as a researcher trying to understand fluid flow and aircraft performance and engine performance, and used the skills to support commercial aircraft development programs for my company. I am analytical. I am not very inspirational or emotional. I'm not a gifted storyteller. I'm not a gifted writer. I'm not a gifted speaker, as you can tell already. In the meantime, I got married to Linda in 1970. We have two daughters, and they went to college and married, and we now have 5 grandchildren. Life was good. We love traveling and seeing the kids and exploring the world. We love genealogy cruises and meeting family back in New England and that type of thing. And then COVID happened, and now we're all cooped up. Uh, Linda fell and broke her hip back in June 2021 and never walked again. She's in a skilled nursing facility, and she also has Alzheimer's. So that put a damper on everything, both of our lives, basically. And then I had a heart problem 3 years ago that has kept me at my desk and in my recliner, basically. So uh, that's what my life is like. I have 6, 8, 10 hours a day sometimes to do genealogy. I don't do much else. I watch some TV, but this is it. I go to the store twice a week, and a lot of my friends have died here. You know, that's the breaks. So that's my life. But in 1988, I needed a new hobby. Um, and I thought genealogy would be a wonderful research challenge, and that it has. One of my family's sisters said that their mother told them we were descended from Peregrine White, the first baby born on the Mayflower in 1620 in Cape Cod Harbor. It didn't take me long to figure out that was correct, but proving it was a little bit more difficult. My research journey took me to libraries and archives in San Diego and Salt Lake City and San Francisco and LA and New England and Norway, since Linda is 25% Norwegian. And that was fun. That's extremely fun. I met all 8 of my father's siblings, all 6 of my father's siblings, and my first cousins on my father's side and their children. But I don't have any first and second cousins on my mother's side, just because they were only children. In the early 90s, I started using Family Tree Maker on my desktop computer and built a family tree. I now use Roots Magic, and I've added all the Seaver persons I can find, Keringer, Abel, other surnames in my line. Linda's side, the ancestors of my 2 sons-in-law. So I have a 74,000 person tree. Recently, I've been adding descendants of my 4th great-grandparents, and that's for DNA purposes, to try and sort out DNA matches when they don't have a tree. So in the process, I've created genealogical sketches for over 500 of my closest ancestors back through the known seventh great-grandparents. I put them on my blog, and that's based on collected information and source citations and things like that. So I have a wealth of information about a lot of people. I don't have a lot of stories. I started my blog in 2006 and write on average 2.5 blog posts every day. I write about my own family history, my own research, genealogy news, education opportunities, stories, and whatever I want, really, whatever strikes a fancy. It's free. I don't take clients. I never have. Because I had the blog, I became known in the genealogy world and started attending conferences and giving presentations to societies. We loved going on cruises. I joined Facebook in 2008 and found many friends, plus my relatives there, and joined Substack in March this year and discovered many more gifted family history writers. And thank you for that. You're inspiring me. In 2012, I compiled about 20 ebooks, and they all had a title like Ancestors of John Richmond or Descendants of Robert Seaver, that type of thing. And I put them on Scribd. I used Family Tree Maker for that. Put them on Scribd.com without notes or sources or stories. They had sources, I'm sorry. But just the facts, just birth, marriage, death, basically, and spouses and things like that. All based on my research, and a lot of that hasn't changed since. Some are 500 pages or more, because I went back 10 generations in some of them. No family members seem to care. Can everybody raise their hand that has that problem? No family members seem to care. Yeah. In 2022, my daughters gave me a Storyworth subscription for Christmas and asked me to write down my stories. So I did, and now have a 200-page book of my stories that I gave them for Christmas last year. At least the daughters said they read the book. The grandchildren have not read it yet, unfortunately, but they will eventually, I think. I'm hurrying through this because I know it's boring. I'm sorry.
Not boring, Randy. We love this. Go on. We all feel this pain.
Okay. So let's talk about where I am now. My genealogical sketches are compiled with facts and abstracts of records in a chronological format, from birth to death, basically, and adding probate. They are just the facts and assertions with notes and records and sources. They are boring. My kids have told me that. The genealogy world is different. They care. We're the same tribe, not boring, Sheila says. So my relatives are happy I'm doing it, okay, and they know where to find me, but they don't read my blog or the ebooks. I have very few real family stories told to me by my parents or grandparents. So how do I pass this on, basically? I think every historical person has a life story. Some are sad, some are inspirational, many are not exciting. Most of my ancestors were typical people who were part of a family, started and raised their own family, moved west from wherever they were. People hardly ever go east. Worked hard to support their family, endured challenges, were imperfect, and they lived through historical times and reacted to those times. So how can I tell each of their stories in a way that my daughters and brothers and cousins and grandchildren will learn about their ancestors? I've learned that they don't want 500-page Ancestors of Randy Seaver books without any family stories. They aren't interested, at least now, in seeing or working on my family tree. They don't want to read my blog every day unless it's a photo post. They do want to hear stories about my life and about Linda's life. They want to know if they're related to famous people, royalty, or presidents, or movie stars. etc. The grandchildren prefer audio and video and social media to paper and text. So we're all kind of in that boat, I think, as far as what the families think, especially the younger family. So I got to the point where artificial intelligence comes along, and so I asked myself, can artificial intelligence help me tell my ancestor stories? And the large language models, think ChatGPT or Claude or Grok or Gemini, there's others, they're pre-trained on billions of pages of published material and are great at analyzing and summarizing text and photos and records and more. They're extremely useful. Now they're more mature. When we first started dealing with it, they would hallucinate if they didn't have information about the topic, but they still want to provide information to us. They usually follow orders, but sometimes they hallucinate. Until recently, only a few of the AI tools could search the internet, but that's changed now. When I first started doing AI, my first thing was on ChatGPT, tell me about Thomas Richmond. Okay, and it said, I have no idea who that is. I don't search the internet, so that's and now it's different because most of them now have a search feature that you can use for free, limited time, of course, limited opportunities. So, but the user has to carefully verify what the chatter says. I only use free tools. I haven't paid for a thing at this point in time. The paid tools probably do things better. I know they do some things a lot better, like images. And you can break your bank dealing with a lot of them. And so, but now search the internet, and if someone has posted a sketch on the internet, some of the tools will find the genealogical sketch. Can I feed a sketch from my blog as a PDF to an AI tool and have it tell me a life story in an engaging style on my request? Yes, they can. They do. A number of us are doing that now in seconds. How long does it take to write a 3-page story just typing it? I already have the material. I've put 36 years into doing the research and writing the stories in my notes, at least writing the sketches. Can I create a poem? Can I create song lyrics? Can I create a memoir? Can I create dialogue between real persons? Can I create a podcast? The answer is yes to all those things. There's plenty of opportunity there to find things. Can it integrate social history and significant historical events into a story, into a life story? Yeah, it can. Can it create historical fiction about real people and real events? Remember, we don't know what our ancestors' voices sound like. We don't know how they talked. We have clues from where they live, but we don't know exactly, do we? So the answer to that is yes also. Can I find a way to combine all of that into an ancestor biography? So after much experimentation, I devised my own little set of prompts often based on what other people have done, modified them. And so I formed the ancestor biography creation, that's ABC process. And I'm calling them ABC biographies. There's other genealogists and family historians doing something similar, crafting their own storytelling process. I know that Thomas McKenty has a genealogical sketch process, works great, and makes presentations about it. I know that Denise Allen and Carol McCullough on Substack have their own processes with YouTube channels and classes to help and encourage people to write family stories. All that's to the good. If you need help with your writing, then select a process and go with it. And if it doesn't suit you, there will be others. I fully anticipate that within the year, I would think by Christmas time, there will be AI prompts for ChatGPT or Claude or someone that can do all of this in one request. Okay, and I can do this whole process in at, at least an hour and sometimes in 30 minutes. Okay, you do have to listen to the songs and things like that. So, so that took too long. I'm sorry. We can uh, go look at things here. I do have more words to say. Um, so this is my blog post defining the artificial intelligence use in the ancestry biography creation process. And so there's a number of elements, and this will be in the handout that Barbara has. Uh, so the steps here are you have to have the basic information about the person. You have to have some information. Uh, so I have mine in Roots Magic. You may have yours in another family tree program. You may not have genealogical sketches at all available. You may have notes or something, but you have to get it into the AI tool to make it work. So as I mentioned, I've written sketches. I have them all on my 52 ancestors, and now I'm doing relatives page on GeneaMusings, on Blogger here. My AI and genealogy compendium is here. My own AI and genealogy work is there. I had to split them up. My 52 ancestor biographies are here, so you can see.
Randy.
Yeah,
I think you might want to be sharing your screen. I've shared the link to that post, but as you point to it, I think you intended to be sharing it.
yeah.
Thank you.
What are you seeing now?
You, which is a joy, but I think you intended to share a screen.
I did. I thought it was. Darn. Zoom. I'm sharing my screen. Great.
Uh, share button, and then click the share,
I
the
know.
blue, after you select it, click the share button at the bottom.
Yeah. I'm in Zoom.
Is it
Well,
me?
hmm.
Anyone else? It looks from the comments,
What
we
to
have
do
a few
now?
other people that
I see
it's
you
okay.
there. Oh,
All right.
okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries.
I'm a veteran of this.
That's okay. And you know what? The secret to edit to video, I
I'm
edit this
sorry. Yeah.
out. Don't worry about it. No worries at all.
I almost cursed just now. Uh, okay. Um, so there we are. Okay, somehow I got off track. I'm sorry. So on my 52 ancestors and relatives biographies, I got 500 of them. I did one a week for 10 years, basically. Um, so we'll back up to the ABC creation thing. We didn't get too far. Um, so I have this. I have the sketches. Now I'll discuss next. If you don't have sketches, I'll discuss what we have, what you can do. Okay, but I want to get through defining the process here. So the third item is writing a biography. Okay, so I attached the PDF of the sketch to the free, and I use Claude now, and it's now Sonnet 4. But when I wrote this, it was 3.7. So the free Claude AI tool, and ask it and say, you are an expert genealogist. Please create a draft biography from the attached file, including parents, siblings, spouses, and children, with birth and death dates and places, summarize life events, and add historical facts as appropriate, but do not add or embellish any extra genealogical details. So I'm telling it not to hallucinate. Use section headings. Expand the information in each section to add more details. The tone should be casual and suitable for family members. Now I'm using engaging as a word instead of casual. And sometimes I have to request Claude to expand each paragraph. Okay? We'll go look at these things in a bit. Uh, I'm sentimental, but I'm not overly emotional. Um, I like poems. I like songs. I grew up with songs. Um, I can't create any of that. So every creation is fun, you know. Wow, I didn't know that. And sometimes it's not only inspiring, but it actually finds a nugget of detail that I miss. Okay. Um, so so I use one of the next item then is using one of the free tools to write a poem and song lyrics based on the uploaded sketch. My prompt is usually, please create a poem to commemorate or celebrate this person's life. And then after it does the poem, then I say, please create song lyrics with 4 verses and a chorus and a bridge and and an outro. And it does. And again, 10, 15, 20 seconds. So with everything, I copy everything into a word processing file and save it in my computer in a file folder named appropriately. Um, the next task in this is creating a briefing document and podcast for that selected person. So I use the free Google Notebook LM to upload the ancestor or relative sketch to create a briefing document, and then you can also create a timeline with a cast of characters, answers to assorted chat questions. You can ask more questions. This is all based on what the tool sees in the sketch. And then it will create an audio overview, and you have to ask for that to be created, and it takes a couple minutes sometimes. But that's a podcast in an 8 to 20 minute WAV file. And now at this point, you can only create 3 audio interviews each day. So I save that in another computer file, appropriately named. The next item is you can transcribe the podcast. So you have a text file of what it says. And I don't hear things right. I don't hear things well. So I need text. So turboscribe.com is the one I use, and it will let me do 3 transcriptions each day for free. Okay, don't have to pay for it. And I think they have to be limited to 30 minutes or less. So if you have audio and need it transcribed, this is an opportunity to do it, again, free. And again, I save it and put it in a file. You can create ancestor family images. Chat and Gemini and Grok and Copilot will create images. Chat does the most photorealistic, I think, and also really tries to create what you ask for. I don't get what I ask for sometimes in the others. And then there's more. I've been playing around with things, and I found that the tools can do dialogues and stories and memoirs. So if I use a prompt to have it describe an event or set a scene or create dialogue between characters, create historical fiction stories, create memoirs, answer questions about occupations and how people lived and that type of thing. In all this, you have to review. You have to critically review all the AI-assisted text for accuracy and completeness and edit or correct the text. I usually have to edit the biography. I will sometimes edit the poem and song lyrics, things like that. And then save your work. Okay, you never know when these things are going to disappear or where your history in an AI tool is going to disappear, but that can happen. Now, I mentioned So my process is fairly simple because I have the sketches already from Roots Magic. What if you don't have the sketches? Okay. If you don't have the sketches, you'll have to search for information about a person. So in Family Search, Family Tree, again, links are in the handout. You can search for a person. So I'm going to search for Thomas. I'm going to use Thomas Richmond. He's my great grandfather. He came from England as a child, and he came in 1856, but he was born in 1848 in Wiltshire, and they lived in Connecticut until his end, or met New England. And so if I search, it will give me, I was in Family Search, Family Tree, and I didn't have to even log in. So it finds my guy because I specified in the search the year and things like that. And so there's a wealth of information in a lot of these sketches. These are all sketches on Family Search, Family Tree that AI Research Assistant will create a short life story, mainly vital records and census records and things like that. But look at the information here. There's 1.2 billion of these profiles in Family Search, Family Tree. 1.2 billion. So now we know that the population of the Earth is 8 billion at this point, and historically probably 20, 30, 40 billion people have ever lived. And they don't have all those stories, only what people have put in here. But and sometimes you get a brief life history, like this one, and you can copy that. You can copy all this stuff, all the other stuff too. And of course, there's a lot more in here. There's sources. Collaborate is notes. There's memories, which is photos or stories attached, things like that. A timeline. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on all the details, but Family Search, Family Tree would be the first place I'd go to search if you didn't have much about your person of interest. WikiTree is another one that has information done by people like you and me, and they have biographies. This is just like the Family Search one because what I put in. And again, a lot of detail sometimes. That's out of my sketch basically, but again, some sketches on WikiTree are very rich, and many aren't. But there's only 42 million, not billion, 42 million profiles here, but they're growing. Family Search, Family Tree is growing too. Find a Grave often will have an obituary. It will usually have a photo of a gravestone. It might have a photo of a person, and sometimes the obituary or some family story will be here. And also it has family members, links to family members. Each one of those names is a link. So that can provide information. Ancestry. So I'm on the wrong one. So I want Thomas Richmond. And my Thomas Richmond changed his name to Richmond after they came to America. So I'm in the facts page on Ancestry. I'm in my tree, but it could be anybody's tree. So if you have an Ancestry account and can look at people's trees, you can go search for your person of interest if you don't have information about that person. So on the facts page here, I can go and under Tools, I can go to Print. And this is what it would print for me in a PDF. Now, so if I go to Print here, then my printer's screen here opens, and I can save it as a PDF instead of print it out. Okay, so now I have a PDF, and look what it has. Let's go back to here because it has but it has all the relationships, parents, spouses, and children. It doesn't have siblings. Okay, you can get that from the facts page. But all these events, okay, is essentially a timeline. The gallery page, go back. It wants to always go to James for some reason. One too many clicks, probably. They also have a life story page, and you can do the same thing with that. You can do tools, print, and then get the life story page. And that may have more notes on it. On my heritage, you can do a search, research. Again, you probably have to have a subscription. Search all records. So I put Thomas Richmond, 1848, Hilperton in, and I won't show you mine, but so with that, and I'm not following my own directions, darn it. I always get boxed up here. Shoot. Sorry. I need to follow directions.
No worries. You're looking to print out from MyHeritage to a PDF?
Yeah, you can.
What I love about this is you've shown us a nice little comparison on all the different platforms,
Yeah.
as each of us probably has familiar with one or another. There you go. Perhaps under.
Yeah, the default has to be Family Search Family Tree, probably just because it's the most profiles. But so under Search All Records, okay, I did that. Search, darn it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, click on a person. Okay. And so you get Thomas Richmond. It's in the notes, and I forgot. Research this person. Okay, that's the key. You have to research this person, and then you get something from someone. Okay, and down at the bottom of this page, and you can see what it has. In this case, he only has just birth, death, and burial, and family members. But there's a print button. Okay, and so same thing, save as a PDF. So hate it when I get confused. And then Google. So I just put in Thomas Richmond, 1848, 1917, and got a list of all my blog posts, basically. and where there are profiles. Jenny has profiles. Find a Grave, Substack. How about that? MyHeritage, GFO, WikiTree, etc. So we relate. Have it on We Relate too. Family Search. So there's all these opportunities. So I need to go to my other screen here. And that wasn't what I wanted. Sorry. My other screen disappeared.
All good.
My other screen disappeared.
Perhaps a separate.
Crap.
Are you on a PC or Mac? You're on a PC?
Yeah.
Did your browser quit?
I'm sorry.
Did your browser quit?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
So
tell us what you were going to show us.
I'm going to stop sharing again.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
And,
no worries at all.
And see what I have. Okay, there's that.
So across all of these different online family trees. You've shown us how we can find the profiles and then print those. And from those printed PDF profiles, you're going to show us creating the bios. Is that right?
Yep, pretty much right now. I found the screen.
There
I
you
was
go.
confused because you sent me the photo and I left it on my email. It's not
Sorry
your,
about that.
it's not your
Yes,
fault,
it is.
you know.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
This is picnic, okay?
Yeah.
Problem in share, not in computer.
Yep. Yep. Well, there's chatter over here saying that we're just grateful you've shown us that mistakes can happen, and
So,
you've proven us. We were worried that you were actually AI, so we're
well,
relieved to know you are human.
now the secret's out, right?
The secret's out.
The secret's out. So here is Claude, okay? And I've put in my the prompt that I mentioned before. It's in Claude Sonnet 4. This is free. It's the default now. I've added a PDF here of Thomas Richmond. Okay. And so I'm saying, please create a draft biography from the attached file, including all those things. And so I click the button and Claude starts working and it types a lot faster than I do. Come on. And there it goes. Um, Forever, you know. And if it's not enough, I can say, I can write another prompt saying, please add content to this, or you forgot to put in something about marriage or something. And that's why you have to review it. And consequently, there's it knows about industries, it knows about history, it knows about social things. This profile had a number of things. Thomas became an American citizen. Uh, he was a professional in weaving and carding and things. Uh, so this is even better than what I had before on, that I've published already. So you can see that would take me a year to write probably and edit. Um, so moving on, because time is flying here. Um, so I've prompted this. I'm in ChatGPT, and they all will do it. I've attached the file, the PDF file for Thomas. Say, please create a poem to celebrate the life of Thomas Richmond, and then create song lyrics with 4 verses, a chorus, bridge, and outro to celebrate his life. And so when I do that, just simple things, it starts working. Again, it takes a little time. And everyone is different. I can do this 6 times. I'll get 6 different products. And so it only gave me 4 stanzas there. I could ask for more stanzas if I care to. It created a song. So if I come down here and say copy, now I can go to suno.com, and on my page, I have a free account, and I'm in the create mode here. I can paste my lyrics in, and I want to take that last bit out, and then I want a ballad. English traditional ballad, say, okay, because he's from England, okay, and to click create, and I get the song to appear. You get 50 credits a day. They always create two versions. Ah, heck, I copied all of it. Oh well, but you can see. So it will probably sing the poem. It gives you a Can you hear that? I hope so.
Wiltshire's fields to New England shore, a boy of 6, then 2 years more.
So that's that's real time. Real time.
That's amazing.
Less than a minute.
I'm going to ask you to share that the link to that song when you're to include in the notes, please.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll improve it to be only the song and not the poem. But I didn't realize it would sing the poem. Good. Okay. So let's move on. Google Notebook LM. So I need to upload a source. So I choose a file. I can choose any source, any number of sources, right? I can choose 5 sources if I want to. My biography is there. And so it starts working immediately once you've added sources. And then over here, what happened to them? I need to move that. So over here is a study guide. So if this was a school setting, there's a study guide it will create for you. The briefing document, it works at it. And the timeline, so I can, and so there's the briefing document. So it creates, okay, it gives you the information here, an executive summary, main themes, etc. The timeline, now this has changed since the last time I used it. So I can go back to the studio here. I can create the timeline. I can add it creates little questions here. What major life events find and transitions shape Thomas Richmond's journey? It will create those, and I need to save them as a note. Okay, but this is really instinctive. It just knows what to do here, knows what question to ask, and you can ask more questions. The podcast gets generated here in the deep dive conversation. We won't play that, but we can attach it to the handout, Barbara. So it sits there and works. It takes some like a minute or two usually, and you can download it.
Actually, I'm planning to include your audio bits directly into the Substack so that Substack can create a transcript for it too, which would be interesting.
Yeah. On Grok, I'm just using Grok as an example here. This is social history. I say, you're an expert social historian. John Richmond was born. I just gave a brief background. And when young John was a boy, say in 1800, he'd be 12, what would his life be like? What would their family life be like? What fun would the children have? And I could have deep search take minutes to deal with it. I won't, I'll use the free one. And again, it starts typing, starts writing. I can paint a picture of John Richmond's life as a boy around 1800 in Hilperton, based on historical context and details. And so daily life as a boy, work and responsibilities, education, routine, health, family life, rules and dynamics. Now, these are all out of the pre-trained stuff, right? This is all social history stuff. It's well trained on these things, but it's general. It isn't specific. John Richmond, the kid, may have a much different life than this describes, but this is a general description. So it gives you a feeling for this. I had no idea about these things. I'm in California 220 years later, you know, fun for the children. So you can see how fast this happens and how much information there is. This is like having a library that we had to go to before to look for a book that might have stuff like this, and now it's here at our fingertips. Okay, welcome to the AI world. Isn't that great? I love it. So I know the time is flying here, even though I made some mistakes. Um,
No
so
worries. No worries.
here is the final product, not from what I just did, but what I did back in April time, the biography. So what I put into this ABC biography is the prompt, any pictures I have of the person, um, and then the expanded biography, and uh, edited. This is edited, so I put it into word processor and then edit it a bit and then copy it into the blog post. And I put these right into Substack also when I do them. More family pictures. So when I have a lot of information, I get a lot of information, legacy. And then I provide, since I've done the poem and song in a different blog post, I put a link to it and a link to the song, if not the video of the song, an audio interview, overview, link, and then lightly edit the plot, etc. So that's what the final project looks like. These links are in the handout for all the examples. Here's the song and poem and that I've created. The Weaver's Journey was the one I had for back in November. I've been doing this for almost a year now. I was using longer, I was using a brief description of the life before I started using the sketches. But the song, the poem, the song lyrics, and the song video. Suno now, for free accounts, has discontinued the videos. At least I can't get them. Other people do. I guess they have. I guess they have an account, a paid account. So these stories in verse and song, they're part of my genealogy and family research, and I can't do any better than this. They do this so much better than I could. I wouldn't even try. And I really think they're heartfelt, Again, the AI tries to please you, okay? It's and some people complain about that. So take that into account. And as you can see, I love fishing in all the AI streams. I do the songs and poems in 3 or 4, usually Chat, Claude, always Grok, and usually Gemini. But the others will do it too. And then I pick the one I like best of the ones that I get. Okay, moving on. Another example, life memories. And I just did this last week, a week ago. This is Thomas Richmond's life memories. So I said, I requested Claude. Again, Claude seems to write the best and most detailed, and I love it. Create a memoir written by Thomas Richmond answering certain questions posed by his children and grandchildren. Well, one of his great grandchildren, about his life in 1910. Okay, and then I listed the questions, and so you can see so I get Thomas Richmond's life memories as told to his children and grandchildren in 1911 at age 63. Tell me about your childhood. Who was in your family? Okay, so I got all those paragraphs. What occupations did you have? What was the hardest challenge in your life? What major life decisions did you make and how did they work out? You can see I put pictures in. What was your biggest accomplishment in life? What are you proudest of? How do you want to be remembered? What advice do you have for your grandchildren? That tends to be boilerplate pretty much when you go person to person, but it's okay. It's okay. So that's fun. and I try to imagine him speaking in his English accent. What I'd really like to have now is go to 11 Labs or whatever it is and take that text and have an English accented person say it. You know, here's a story. I haven't gone that far yet, but that's next. um, so I've asked some things like, please describe a day in the life of a person. In this case, my third great grandmother, Mary Ann Box, and she married. She married Samuel Box. Okay, Mary Ann Underhill it was. Sorry, brain fade. So my prompt was, please describe a day in the life of my third great grandmother. She was a farmer's wife. I just gave it brief things here. And so I had a ChatGPT picture, a day in the life, morning routine based on only on what I put in, but the information that it already has from social history and historical events and daily household tasks, tending the garden, poultry management, textile work, laundry, space specific, location specific. I said they're on a farm in Kansas, farm activities. So all that stuff, you think the kids will be interested in that? I do. This is 150 years ago. Okay. So, okay, more examples, but quickly. A dialogue. My second great grandmother, Rebecca Spangler Carringer, which I just wrote about today, this week, survived a tornado in Iowa in 1873. And in the song about her, Rebecca Pioneer Woman, it tells that story. So I have a published newspaper article. I had ChatGPT create a graphic. And so I uploaded the text of the newspaper article to Claude and asked it to create a dialogue between Rebecca and her husband with her children, Edgar, Austin, and Effie, telling the story of her surviving the tornado. Okay. And I got a story. Now, I couldn't do that, and a dialogue between all the folks. I asked Claude again, do you have any idea where Rebecca felt during this experience and how it affected their family life? They moved to Colorado later in 1873. Their farm had failed already, and they were ready to go. So here's what Claude said, the unseen wounds, the tornado's lasting impact, and create the story that Rebecca told her 8-year-old grandson, Lyle, in about 1900, the day the wind came roaring. I'm touched by this. This tugs at the heartstrings, but I'm a sentimental guy, Now, historical fiction. So I have like, I think 15 or 16 Revolutionary War soldiers in my ancestry. None of them died during the war. One of the sons, one of the brothers of my ancestors did die in Lexington on April 19th, 1775. Okay. Azahill Reed, the son of Isaac Reed and Experience Willis. And so I chose the Grok story to tell the story, the apple of their eye. And this is dialogue. This is the whole scene from him marching off, him getting up and facing his father and telling his father he has to go, march off with the regiment to Lexington, the battle, bringing him home, bringing the body home, burying him, and then reflecting later afterwards. And burying him. It's again, it can do these things. More? a photorealistic image. This is an odd request, right? Please create a photorealistic image of a sod cabin on the windy northwestern Kansas plains in 1885. Well, voila. There it is. And I asked, can you please make it more colorful? So they made it more colorful and changed the view of it a bit. So I have, that's not too different. And I asked, okay, tell me about a sod cabin. How do I build it? How big were they? What tools were they used? So here I'm asking these things. Okay, this happens in minutes. Again, I could never do this the way we had to 2 years ago. Now, just want to highlight my compendium. This it's on my page. This is free. And I see that the Blogger things aren't showing up well sometimes. So I have a list of general artificial intelligence articles. These are the latest ones are always at the top of the list, so I add to them occasionally. Moshewitz is up to AI 120 right now, so I don't put everyone in. I pick and choose. Artificial intelligence tools that are useful. So here's a list of them with links. These are all links. Custom prompts. So Steve Little, especially Mark Thompson, others have custom prompts for genealogy tasks. So, and these all work really well. I encourage you to try them out when you're on. You have to search for them on ChatGPT. Most of these are ChatGPT. So, and then I have useful genealogy and AI websites. These are, Steve Little's blog, the Facebook group, the Family History AI Show podcast, etc. Other people that I know or that I read all the time. And my page, which I'll show you in a minute. So, and then useful webinars and videos. So I put the webinars first and the videos later, and there's just a whole bunch now because we got a couple a week. And then useful articles by other genealogists. So there's plenty to read there, and that's just a free page. Lastly, all my work, and this boggles my mind. This is there's my friend AI. I had him looking over my shoulder in the on Zoom calls for a while, and people got really confused. But he's dreaming about a family tree, and he's dreaming about DNA, and and he's got books in the background of my Hawaiian shirt too. Their Hawaiian shirts are much better than the ones I wear, but I try. So I've been asking questions of AI for over a year now. Okay, so I have all of them listed, the most recent at the top. I haven't done this week yet. And then the biography creation posts I'm listing. So I have about 20 of those. I have AI assisted stories now, like the life memories. And then when I've used Ancestry and MyHeritage and Family Search and Emulate Me, and then my Saturday night fun posts about AI, and then my ancestral poems and songs created by AI. So I have about, 60 or 70 of those. So that's what I have. And I thank you for your patience and putting up with my
Wow.
my challenges. But that was about an hour, huh? Yeah.
Absolutely. That was absolutely fabulous. I think you'll see in the enthusiasm in the comments just how delightful this has been for so many of us following along and with bated breath as you take each step. I expect there are going to be many questions. I want to make sure that we can get the video recorded and posted. So I'm going to end the recording